This week in 1953, Jet Magazine featured this couple in its Mr. and Mrs. section. They are not celebrities or politicians or anyone of significant historical importance. Just plain old everyday civilians like you and I who got themselves involved in some hot mess. Well, maybe they weren't like you and I. I'll read the story, sprinkle in my commentary, and you can decide if they were like you. Let's get into it. But first, if you like these videos about the most scandalous people from yesteryear that make the hot mess history with Ty Said What Ty Said channel a time capsule for the culture, subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can know every time that I upload one of these videos or every time that I live stream, and comment "I subscribed" in the comment section so that I can say hello to you. Now, on to why you are here. Today's story comes from this issue of Jet Magazine, dated March 19th, 1953. The article is titled, "Indiana Cafe Owner Seeks Divorce, Says German Bride Tricked Him," and it reads, an interracial romance that began in 1950 when a wealthy cabaret owner read a letter in Ebony from a German girl who wanted to marry an American Negro hit the rocks in an Indianapolis divorce court with lurid charges and countercharges. Denver Ferguson, 57, owner of the Sunset Club, charged that 300-pound Lilo Wrench of Munich, Germany, tricked him by sending to Ebony a photograph of a slim, attractive girl, but that he married her to escape a possible Federal Mann Act charge. Ferguson, who reportedly became wealthy from the rackets years ago, said that even though he and his wife lived together since March 1952, the marriage was never consummated. On one occasion, he said his wife tried to rape him, which made him suffer a heart attack. Mrs. Ferguson, however, told Jet an entirely different story. She charged in her cross-complaint that the reason she refused to sleep with her husband is his, quote, peculiar bedroom mannerisms, end quote, and that he is impotent. She explained that on their first night of marriage, Ferguson tried to force her to engage in mutual abnormal sex acts, and that she ran from the bedroom and locked herself in another room. She said she never entered her husband's room again, and that she was afraid of him because he slept with a hatchet under his pillow. She pointed out also that she sent the picture of another girl because she was employed by the U.S. Air Force in Germany and was afraid of losing her job if white Americans discovered she preferred a Negro husband. The German bride is suing Ferguson for $50,000 and $7,500 attorney fees. Ferguson agreed to make a partial payment of $750 on the lawyer's fee, as well as give his wife $65 a week support until the divorce is heard in May. Okay, so why did Jet Magazine call her 300-pound Lilo, as if 300 pounds is some part of an official title that she holds? Now, I looked for the 1950 Ebony Magazine in which their correspondence began, but I couldn't find it. I just wanted to see the picture that she initially sent. But I think that we can all agree that it looked something more like this and less like her. And who knew that Ebony Magazine was the original Tinder for black people? So can we just applaud Miss Lilo for playing this sucker and getting her U.S. citizenship? He sent for her, and if he hadn't married her, he could have gone to prison for violating the Mann Act. And that's Fed time, so dun 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 dun. Okay, so I'm genuinely asking you because I don't know who to believe. Do you believe the husband when he says that she tried to, let's say, forcibly take it from him? She tried to steal the, Or do you believe the wife who says that he was doing weird things in the bedroom and that he couldn't even get it up? Let me know in the comments because this could go either way. Now, she did say that he tried to force her into, quote, mutual abnormal sex acts, unquote. And just what does that mean, y'all? Mutual abnormal sex acts. Anyway, after he tried to do that, she ran from the bedroom and locked herself in another room. She ran. She ran. Maybe that gives his version a little bit of credibility. And what about this hatchet under the pillow? I mean, can you say Exhibit A? Jet Magazine coming through with a hard-hitting investigative journalism. And what about her excuse for sending a photo of someone else? It makes sense to me. It was 1950, so she might have lost her job if people found out that she liked black men. But why not send a picture that looks like this? He would have been less surprised, or even pleasantly surprised, when he met the real Lilo. And what about that money she wanted? $7,500 for attorney's fees and a $50,000 payday? That $50,000 in 1953 has the buying power of $531,000 in today's 2022 money. Now, I ain't saying she a gold digger, but, well, she probably was. So I actually did a little following up on this case, and here's what I found in some newspapers that reported on this divorce. It was actually Lilo and a friend of hers who went in on this plan together. Here is what the Herald Courier printed in April of 1955. Quote, "The German woman and a girlfriend had advertised for Negro husbands in an American magazine. They said their dealings with Americans in World War II indicated Negroes, quote, have much more heart, end quote. Translation, American Negroes will marry the white women who white men don't want. Sorry, not sorry, I said what I said. He led with his money, telling Lilo that he earned $10,000 a year and was worth $150,000, which definitely would have been impressive figures back then. Now, in 1953, she told Jet Magazine about the hatchet in his bed, but by 1955, she upped the ante and told the judge that her husband slept with a hatchet and a gun in the bed. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Exhibit B. I mean, when a woman has a history of violating a man and just taking the D from him, a fellow's got to do what a fellow's got to do. The Indianapolis News printed a story in 1953 that shed some light on how quickly the couple married after they met and how they lived as a married couple. In part, it reads, quote, "He said he made arrangements for her to come to this country, and he went to New York, where he met her March 10th, 1952. But the woman he met was not the attractive 27-year-old blonde pictured in the magazine," the suit asserted. He married the woman 4 days later to avoid getting in trouble with immigration authorities, he alleged. Ferguson said they have never lived together as man and wife, the woman occupying one unit in an apartment he owns at 324 West 38th, and he living in another, end quote. Well, when all was said and done, 300-pound Lilo, as Jet Magazine affectionately named her, won $5,000 in attorney's fees and a $25,000 settlement. That's $265,000 in today's money. What a nice start for a life in a new country. Well played, Lilo. Now, on a sad note, I was also able to find what I'm sure is her obituary in the Indianapolis Star newspaper. She died on Christmas Day in 2001 at the age of 80. It seems like after she got her divorce, she made the Indianapolis area her home until she died. Denver Ferguson, Lilo's husband, avoided Mann Act charges by marrying Lilo after he brought her here. The first person who was convicted under the Mann Act was the first black heavyweight boxing champion in the United States, Jack Johnson. I published a video about him that you can see here. My sources for this story are Jet Magazine Archives, the Bristol Herald Courier Archives, the Indianapolis News Archives, and the Indianapolis Star Archives. If you want text notifications so that you can get a text 15 minutes before I release a video or 15 minutes before I live stream, simply send a text to 786-632-2135 to let me know that you want text, and you will get an outgoing text message 15 minutes before I have a new video release. If you have a business, product, service, YouTube channel, or social media account that you would like to promote on my channel, email me at tiwan@tisaidwhattisaid.com to get rates for advertising on my community tab, my live streams, and or my edited videos, just like this one. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Ti Said What Ti Said channel. Please leave a thumbs up and comment so that we can get a discussion going. And share this video on all of your social media, especially your Facebook. That really helps me out a lot. And subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can know when my next video is ready for you. And if you don't like what I'm saying, but you love it, feel free to hit that applaud button just below your video screen there and send me some
donations.
Yeah, baby. See you on the next video.